put maybe a little different perspective on some of it. We have heard for some time now from different folks that this ordinance doesn't really change the interaction of or the capability of the police, and I agree with that, and I also strongly agree with the perception and the statements that Chief Flory and our police department are exemplary and don't really pose a threat, so to speak. So what we have is, prior to this ordinance, if I understand it correctly, the police could have arrested the fellow and the truant that was involved in the fist fight because he was involved in assault and battery or whatever the legal term would be for that. So that doesn't really change. According to also from what we've heard so far, the police could pick up a person that they feel was a truant, question him and return him to school if they really felt that he was a truant. So that really hasn't changed, and that's a zero tolerance thing. We've talked about that this new ordinance would give us zero tolerance. That's not exactly what it's going to do, because we have zero tolerance already with the police, or we had it before, with the police having the ability to pick up a truant and return him to school. But what does change with this ordinance is the fact that you can be cited, and that can carry with it a fine up to $500. And so that's really the core issue here. That's the core change, is that we're instituting with this ordinance a possible $500 fine. Now, what I see that doing is prior to this ordinance, a person could go out, a school-age child could go out on the street and carry out his business with no particular concern about, am I breaking a law? But the addition of this ordinance and the $500 penalty now effectively criminalizes being out on the street. And so that changes the perspective that the person on the street has, where, before it would be reasonable to go out on the street and just simply do your business, not even give it a second thought. Now, these people that are of that age have to be concerned, and it will naturally rise to their attention, the fact that they could be criminals in doing this. And I just, as I mentioned several weeks ago, I feel like the best way to approach this is not to approach it from the, hey, you're out on the street, you could be a truant. Let's approach it from the standpoint that the school system knows who the truants are. They can identify who the truants are. And let's try to work on a system that will start with the school that knows who the truants are and work its way to the truant, rather than just randomly on the discretion of an officer stopping an individual. I think that would be a much better, much more user-friendly way to approach it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay. A few words before you leave. I've just been told that I-35 shut